Hints suggest to the optimizer. It is very important to remember that a hint only makes a suggestion to the optimizer. It doesn't actually tell or instruct the optimizer to do something a specific way. It makes a suggestion, and if the optimizer thinks that the hint is completely stupid, it will ignore it. One point to note is that hints are actually inserted as comments. So, as you can see, a hint is added, ignoring the blue part as slash asterisk and then asterisk slash. It's actually suggested to the optimizer by placing it between comments. If a hint is incorrectly coded, it will simply be ignored. The general syntax is between comments, no space, then a plus sign, a space, and then the hint and the string that applies. And obviously, looking at this syntax, you can have a comma delimited list of multiple hints to suggest. Here's an example where it says select, and immediately prior to the asterisk, which is select all from a table, you place between comments and with a plus sign and a space the hint and the object you're placing the hint on. So because I'm retrieving from this table, I'm actually suggesting that this table be full scanned. If I was to use an alias, I would actually have to suggest the hint on the alias as opposed to the table. Hints can also apply not only to select query statements, but to insert DML statements, update statements, and delete statements. Let's go and take a look at some examples. Here's my pre-prepared script. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to show explain plans, but in an easy way. So I'm simply going to look at AutoTrace, and it says I have it on with explain. To show AutoTrace with explain, I simply execute set AutoTrace on explain. Now let's go and look at a table and a query. I'm going to select everything or all columns from this table where the category ID is 1. I know this is a unique value. In other words, this is the primary key. There is only one row in this table with the category ID 1. So I should get a unique index scan, and there we have it. Index unique scan of the primary key, and it's using the row ID from this index scan to find the row in the table. Now let's go and run everything without the where clause, and I'm going to execute a full table scan on the table, and there we have it, table full scan access on that table. And as you can see, the cost is 4 there and the cost is 1 there. So the cost is higher for the full table scan, obviously. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this query, which used the index unique row ID scan, or the scan of the index and the read into the table to find the single row. And I'm going to change the way this query works by overriding with a hint, and I'm going to force it to full scan the table. So I'm going to copy and paste this one, and there the hint is forcing or suggesting to the optimizer. Note the use of the word suggest as opposed to force, and the hint noted here is suggesting that the optimizer execute a full table scan on the category table, which it does. Now let's go and use an alias. As I said, when referring to an object using a hint, you have to use the alias. So I've got full scan on the alias C for this table. So I'll select this and I'll paste it. And once again, we get table access full, where the where clause is included, where normally it would actually use an index based on the where clause. I also said that incorrectly coded hints will actually cause the hint to be simply ignored. They won't cause a compiler error. Here I'm accessing the table and not the alias, which is actually incorrect in terms of the hint. What will happen is the parser will not throw out an error, but it will simply ignore this hint. So now you can see the table has been accessed by unique index scan and table accessed by row ID from the index, as opposed to the full scan because the hint is incorrectly coded. To switch off AutoTrace, I would simply set AutoTrace off again. That's the basics of hint syntax. How hints make suggestions to the optimizer.